Thank you for joining us for another one of our 10-minute Bible studies. We've been looking at life's most important questions by looking at the questions that Jesus himself asked in the gospel. And today I'm in Matthew chapter 5, Jesus' Sermon on the Mount. And we read these words, You've heard that it was said, you shall love your neighbor and hate your enemy. But I say to you, love your enemies, pray for those who persecute you, so that you may be children of your Father in heaven. For he makes the sun rise on the evil and on the good. He sends rain on the righteous and on the unrighteous. And here's the question. For if you love those who love you, what reward do you have? Do not even the tax collectors do the same? And if you greet only your brethren and sisters, what more are you doing than others? Do not even the Gentiles do the same? Be perfect, therefore, as your Father is perfect. The question I want to examine, there's a few questions there, and we'll look at the other ones in another study. But this question is, for if you love those who love you, what reward do you have? Do not even the tax collectors do the same? Now that word love, if you love those who love you, that word love there in the scriptures is the word agape. There's a few words for love in the scriptures. There's agape, there's philia, there's eros. This agape love, do you love, means literally a selfless concern for others. If you only have concern for those that have concern for you, you're no better than the tax collectors. If you only like those that like you, if you only associate those that agree with you, you're no better than the tax collectors. That's a harsh word here. The tax collectors in Jesus' day were really considered some of the worst sinners. They cheated people, they lied, they defrauded people. So when Jesus is using that example, he doesn't use it lightly. He says, if you only love people that love you, then you're no better than the tax collectors. As followers of Jesus, we are called to be different and love, agape, selfless concern for the enemy, selfless concern for the other. That's what makes followers of Jesus so much different than other people who are in the world. If you love those who love you, you're no different than anyone else. That's what everyone does. Jesus is calling us to a different kind of love. I must have forgot to tell them I was doing a 10-minute Bible study. Hold on just a second. Yes. Thank you very much. Got to take this call. Hello, this is Ken Ramsey. Yes. Yes, Miss Christian, how are you? It has been a while since I've heard from you. Yes, ma'am. Hold on, let me adjust the volume on my phone just a little bit here, if you will. Thank you. Yes, ma'am. I understand. How can I help you? Uh-huh. Yes. Well, what kind of carpentry work were you looking at having done? Yeah, we do have some people in the church that do that. Yes, ma'am. Oh, a fence. Well, I thought you had a chain link fence there at your house. Oh, you want a solid fence? 12 feet tall. Well, that's quite a high fence, Miss Christian. Oh, no, ma'am. I could never call you by your first name. I appreciate that, but I would continue to call you Miss Christian. But why 12 feet tall? Oh, new neighbors. Driving you crazy, okay? In what way? Different? What do you mean by different? Oh, you think they're ethnic? Yes, ma'am. Well, I'm not really comfortable with that word, but I might know what you're talking about. Sort of dark-skinned. Okay, you're not used to being around those people. Well, you know, Miss Christian, they have a right to live wherever they would like. That's one of the beauties of our community. People can live wherever they want. You just wish it wasn't beside you. I understand. Well, if you don't mind me asking, what bothers you the most? Yes, ma'am. The kids run crazy. How many kids do they have? 3 that you can see. Oh, okay. Teenage daughter. You don't like her sunbathing in her own backyard. Got a tattoo? Oh. Well, you know, different generation, Miss Christian. We don't always understand different generations, but that doesn't mean it's bad. All their music is bad. Why is that? Is it obscene? Oh, just loud. You can't really understand the lyrics, it's just too loud. I understand. Well, I'm sorry to hear you're having so much trouble. But what's that? You think they're Muslims? You mean you think they practice the Islamic faith? What makes you think that, though, Miss Christian? And that's okay. Oh, they had a visitor. You think it was the grandma. You heard her talking. Oh, you couldn't understand, but she wasn't speaking English. So she was talking to them in her native tongue. I still can't quite see why that would automatically make you think that they were of the Islamic faith. But I mean, she comes from different places, so perhaps she does have a right. She has a right to talk in her native tongue to people that she would like. Yes, ma'am. Don't you think? Well, I've heard people say they just need to speak English when they're over here, but there again, she may be more comfortable talking in her native tongue to her family. Communist. Oh, so you think they're Islamic and communist? Oh, no ma'am, I wasn't laughing. No ma'am. Oh, why? Because of the campaign sign in their yard. They have a campaign sign in their yard? Oh, not exactly a campaign sign. What does the sign say? Let the oppressed go free. Oh, you think that represents a certain candidate? Some fine print at the bottom of this. Well, actually, Miss Christian, that may be, they may be Christian because that's actually from Luke's gospel. Yeah, Luke 4. Jesus in the temple. He read from Isaiah and said, let the oppressed go free. Yes, ma'am. None that you've ever seen, huh? Just can't. I understand. You just wish you didn't have to live beside them. They can live anywhere just as long as it wasn't beside you. Well, Miss Christian, I think you really need to think that through if you would. Yes. Well, I'm just not sure of that. Yes, ma'am. You know what do I think you should do? Well, maybe what I think you probably should do, Miss Christian, is bake a few of your famous pies and go over and knock on their door and welcome them to the neighborhood. Okay. You ask. Well, your pies are really good and so are your cakes. The kids would probably love it. You don't want them to like it. You'd rather them move. Well, Miss Christian, there again, I think you're better off going over and greeting them and getting to know them. Maybe you like them. Okay. It was just a suggestion. Yes, ma'am. The fence. Back to the fence. Well, I'll check around and see if there's any gentlemen the carpentry we do to help people more has to do with, accessible ramps and places where the roof may be deteriorating, some really, urgent needs. No, ma'am, I didn't mean it wasn't urgent for you to have the 12-foot fence. I'm just saying that sometimes there's other needs that we have to prioritize. Okay. Well, maybe we can talk again. Yes, ma'am. You call anytime. Before you go, let me ask, how's your grandson doing? Well, I do continue to pray for him. Yes, ma'am. He still doesn't want anything to do with the church. Still doesn't want anything to do with this Jesus stuff. And I'm sorry to hear that, but I'll continue to pray for him. I can't imagine. I don't know why he wouldn't want to have anything to do with our faith. Yes, ma'am. Well, blessings to you too. We'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye. Sorry about that. I'll continue on with the 10-minute Bible study. Remember the question Jesus asked, if you love those who love you, what reward do you have? And looks like I'm coming up about to the end of the 10 minutes. Well, I'll pick this up again, and we'll try again another time. But thanks for listening in today.